Hey guys, so it is a hat kind of day here in North Texas. If you ever see me wearing a hat, it is because I didn't feel like washing my hair that day. But also, it's cute, right? Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, all the trees have fallen. Not the trees, the leaves have fallen all over my yard. I don't plan on raking. That's a boy job. Like, I don't mean to sound sexist, but it just is. So, today I wanted to talk to you guys about sad days. That sounds kind of depressing, but I think it's good for us to have sad days. I know that I have times when I wake up in the morning, had one Wednesday, woke up in the morning, I was just like, I'm feeling, I don't know, I'm feeling sad. So that is like kind of like a baseline feeling. So what's really going on underneath? And of course, that brings me to all kinds of questions. I go to my feeling wheel, and try to see if sad is the base, what's lying underneath. So I kind of decided and landed on indifference. I just felt really indifferent and I wasn't sure why I was having a sad day. And they come from time to time. And I mean, if I have a lot of sad days in a row, then I have to recognize that depression is starting to hit. I've never really struggled with depression severely, but I have definitely gone through seasons where I felt depressed for a long period of time. I read somewhere very long ago that it is normal to be depressed once a year. I don't know if that's still valid or true, but I do have sad days. And so I think the part that can be tricky is us not knowing exactly why we feel that way. And so it's really just information that your body is giving you. Maybe it's time to slow down. Maybe you're feeling really overwhelmed and have a lot of anxiety, or maybe you're just not on your sad day, you're just feeling all the weight of everything in your world. And for me, that seems to be the case with my sad days. They're definitely fewer and far between, which is good. And I do recognize them right away, and I don't take them out on everyone else around me. I try to really keep it all a little to myself and not end up trying to like all over everybody, because that's not healthy. You don't want to, be bleeding and then end up bleeding all over everyone else. That's not fun for them or you. They don't want you around after that. So what do we do when we're having a sad day? Well, one, it's good to recognize it and say, you know what, I'm just having a sad day today. You know what I'm gonna do? I might not even try to do anything that would cheer me up. I might just do some self-care. And if self-care looks like laying on the couch and watching a lot of New Girl episodes, then that's what you should do. But on Wednesday, I didn't have that opportunity because I had errands to run. I actually had a class to teach, and it was just all the things. And so I ended up just laying on my husband's chest for a good 30 minutes and said, I'm just having a sad day. And he's somebody that recognizes that as well, because he's realized that, not all of his days are really great. And some days he struggles with anxiety more than your average bear. And he has learned to deal with it and has gone through therapies on, what he can do and things like that. And so I think as we're both learning those things and recognizing them for ourselves, it's so important to speak up and say, hey, this is what's happening with me. Otherwise, when my husband gets real quiet, I get real suspicious. Like, what did I do? That's my Enneagram 2 talking. Someone's mad at me. I did something wrong. I actually, sidebar, listened to a typology episode where they were talking about Enneagram 4s, and that's something that an Enneagram 4 thinks as well. And I was like, see, this is the Enneagram 2 problem, because I'm like, I always wanted to be a 4. Maybe I'm a 4. But we tend to take on most of the responsibility in an argument, a disagreement, or we just generally think that we're always about to get into trouble. So if he hadn't spoke up and said, hey, I'm feeling really anxious right now, there's nothing wrong, I'm not mad, then I'm just gonna sit there and stew. And that whole thing where you start to spiral, where it's like, oh, what did I do? It was probably this, and he's not talking about it. I'm really mad that he's not talking about it. And then it's just all downhill from there. So when we're having those days, when we're sad, maybe we have a mad day. I don't know. Do you guys have mad days? I want to know. Where you're really just done with everything. And I feel like those are allowed. You know, you get one, maybe two, depending on the situation. Maybe you get a month, depending on if you're grieving or you've lost a loved one or something really tragic and traumatic has happened to you. Then you know what? You get more than a few. Okay? There's grace for that. And I think that's something that we also need to remember, is that we need to have grace for one another, because everyone's going through a different season, and there's all kinds of things that go on behind each set of eyes that we don't even get to hear, experience, or really know for ourselves unless we're diving in deep into relationship with these people. But the people inside your home, you should know them a little bit better than everyone else, and you should recognize when they might need a question. In other words, hey, I'm noticing that you're very quiet and withdrawn. And so I was wondering if there was something that we needed to talk about, or if you're just having a day. That's okay too. Sometimes my son gets really quiet. Actually, here lately, the hormones have been running, teenagers. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, you're normally not this quiet. And I worry about that. And he's just like, I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm like, okay, I get like that. Go grab the color wheel, the feeling wheel. Let's go see how we feel together. And sometimes it's just not the case. Sometimes he just wants to be alone in his thoughts, and I can respect that. I like to do that. I like to think my thoughts. So just know that sad days are totally normal. I actually wrote a blog post about it as well, about what helped me through my sad day, because no one wants to have a sad day and then feel like they're the only one that this happens to. It happens to everybody. Most people I hang out with, at least. So be comforted in that, and know that I'm rooting for you guys, and I love y'all.